It's great to be here today at the VRAR Global Summit, and Lenovo is excited to be a part of such an amazing group of global thought leaders. Today, I'm going to be talking about scaling enterprise AR and VR solutions during a pandemic, optimizing for now and preparing for the future. Over the past few months, our world has changed. We've experienced the fastest increase in unemployment and furloughed workforce in recorded history. It's caused us all to rethink our business, rethink how we interact, and rethink how we work. Whether our road to recovery is a U-shaped curve, a V-shaped curve, or even a W-shaped curve, life as we know it has changed. Work as we know it has changed. And there's more need for remote work, remote collaboration, remote assistance, and remote training as we all come back to work faster than ever in recorded history. With this, there will be an unprecedented need to accelerate digital transformation to upskill the workforce and retrain the workforce. And at Lenovo, we feel that augmented reality and virtual reality can be a strong technology pillar to help get us back to work and do it in a way that is scalable with enterprise-grade capabilities. Our customers are telling us that making this process easy and simplifying the process from testing to a production rollout is needed now more than ever. So today, I'm going to show you all the efforts that Lenovo is making at a global level to help our customers. Let's first take a look at the impact, though, that this global pandemic is having on businesses at a global level. 47 million employers, not employees, but employers. These are 47 million companies that represent 54% of all employees worldwide, are said to be operating in businesses that are the hardest hit sectors. These include manufacturing, accommodations and food services, wholesale and retail trade, and real estate and business activities. So the global pandemic is really amplifying companies' need to accelerate their technology transformation. In a new survey of Fortune 500 CEOs, 63% of them agreed the current healthcare crisis would accelerate their company's digital transformation. Now, if we look at AR and VR, the market conditions are mixed. The companies who don't understand the ROI are actually delaying their testing and they're delaying pilots for 1 to 3 quarters. But the companies who do understand the ROI of augmented reality are actually accelerating deployments to increase remote work, remote assistance solutions, and even remote training. Those who are accelerating are telling us that making this easily deployable and offering turnkey solutions that cover hardware, software, and services are more important now than ever. And soon, companies will need to accelerate the reskilling or retraining of millions of skilled workers that come back to the workforce. So as we continue to navigate the implications of COVID-19, Lenovo sees that AR can be a smarter technology across various industries to assist workers in their daily jobs. Now, even prior to the pandemic, major economic factors were driving the need to utilize AR and VR technologies to help solve this growing skilled workforce gap. 50% of companies are experiencing skilled worker shortage to meet current service demands, and 70% of field service organizations are facing knowledge loss due to a retiring workforce over the next 5 to 10 years. And if we look at the new generation in the skilled workforce area, the millennial demographic, 75% of our global workforce will be millennials by 2023. And 59% of millennials said that employers' provisioning of state-of-the-art tech is really important when considering a job. So being able to quickly and efficiently train and upskill this shifting workforce has never been more important, considering all these major market factors that we have today. So 2 years ago, Lenovo established its commercial AR and VR business unit, taking a customer-first approach, incubating AR and VR solutions. The key fundamentals to this approach include building partnerships with our customers. We met with customers and asked what they needed to deploy a scalable solution that would have significant impact on their business. For those early adopters who wanted to embark on this with Lenovo, we worked hand in hand to build a strategy that works best for our customers. The second pillar is optimizing our hardware and software solutions. Working with dozens of Fortune 500 enterprises around the world, our team brought products to market early. Then we tested, learned, and optimized features and functionalities. And finally, achieving scalability. As we built our AR and VR solutions, we focused very specifically on optimizing for enterprise scalability. Now, Lenovo is really fortunate to be positioned to scale and deliver these types of solutions in the enterprise. We're number one in commercial PCs globally, operating in over 160 markets, serving over 1 billion customers. We're number one in very large business market share, and we've been delivering over 100 million connected devices per year. Now, as we look at augmented reality and the primary use cases that we're seeing companies realize the value, it includes product assembly, real-time expert support, equipment maintenance, and quality assurance and training. These are primarily found across the manufacturing, energy and utilities, logistics, and AEC markets. Let's take a quick look at some of the industry average KPI improvements that we're seeing across several verticals. In the warehouse, we're seeing productivity gains between 15 to 30%. In manufacturing, we're seeing error rates drop to nearly 0% by implementing real-time workflow compliance methodologies. And in field service, we're seeing 30 to 40% decreases in service resolution time, powered primarily by remote assistant solutions. Now, as we look at the value chain across the augmented reality ecosystem, it's quite fragmented across smart glasses hardware, software platforms, content, systems integration, and even mobile devices. This quote from the lead analyst at ABI Research summarizes it nicely. He said, "Fragmentation remains an implementation barrier for augmented and virtual reality in the enterprise at every scale, with immediate ROI losses related to hardware options, device management, content creation, and distribution and security. These shortfalls create an opportunity for platforms showcasing a level of interoperability and maturity across the board, like Lenovo's Think Reality platform, spanning hardware, software, and services." So it's with that in mind that we created Think Reality to deliver a complete enterprise solution with 3 pillars that include a scalable software solution, a suite of modern hardware, and expert services. Think Reality was created with the developer, the IT manager, and the business manager all in mind to allow for scalability. Now, let's talk about augmented reality and how we're striving at Lenovo to offer a total solution for enterprises. With this in mind, here's how it looks for our total solution, focusing on allowing customers to develop, deploy, and manage their solutions. The Think Reality A6 is a fully featured, lightweight, mixed reality headset with enterprise-grade performance. The A6 offers 1080p resolution and near full transparency waveguide optics powered by Lumis. We've worked with partners, Qualcomm, to use their Snapdragon chipsets in our compute box. And we work with Intel utilizing their Movidius visual processing unit in the headset. Think Reality also includes a development platform. It has a Unity SDK, extendable sample apps so that you can quickly take those applications and customize them. It offers mixed reality support, voice input, gesture input, and gaze control. We've also recently added 3DoF controller support in our SDK. And we're now offering image recognition with extendable tracking included in the SDK. As you can see, some of the partners that are helping us power this include Sensory for the voice input, Clay Air for the gesture input, and Wikitude for the image recognition. We also offer a cloud platform and services. This includes a management portal, MDM support, and we're adding asset pipeline starting next quarter. We've also added new turnkey app solutions. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about those in a moment, but these cover a variety of use cases, and we've also added Android mobile device support. Now, this total solution also includes professional services, and that means device support, software support, and even integration support. So let's dive a little bit deeper into some of these improvements we've recently made with our SDK 2.2. We've now added image tracking. Developers can now take advantage of planar image tracking, and image target databases are Wikitude compatible. We've added, as I mentioned, a 3DOF controller support. This means that developers can now build applications using the pose from the 3DOF controller, allowing laser pointer type of input. We've also added expanded gesture support. We've added 5 new gestures for a total of 7, and these have been added to the system so that developers can customize them into their applications. And then let's take a look at the A6 and some of the improvements that we've just made with our production release. It's now twice as bright at the same power. The new max brightness is 600 nits per eye, where the earlier version was 300 nits. Now, the brightness improvements come from an increase in efficiency in the display engine, so there's actually no increase in power for the increased brightness. This change improves usability in bright conditions, such as rooms with lots of windows, and will also conserve power when used in darker indoor environments. Second, we've reduced color breakup. As seen in our version 2 units, when the user's head is moving quickly and sequential color display causes the colors to separate as each color is projected onto the eye after one another. The new version 3, which is our production device, adjusts the placement of the image as each color is presented and corrects for almost all the color breakup, increasing legibility of text and improving color uniformity for images. And finally, reduced latency and improved stability. The new version 3 device offers an updated asynchronous time warp implementation, which dramatically improves the stability of displayed content and increases the accuracy of virtual content positioning. The new V3 method for implementing ATW reduces errors in rotation correction by almost 85%, which allowed our entire system to be re-optimized with the reduced color breakup for a much more stable viewing experience. So now that we've talked a little bit about these hardware improvements, I want to talk about our Lenovo certified solutions. We're excited to announce certified solutions for Think Reality. These are third-party solutions and applications that have been vetted by our team at Lenovo for enterprise performance and security, and are actually integrated out of the box with the Think Reality platform to offer a turnkey solution that can be easily deployed at scale. So let's take a look at our first certified solution. We've partnered with HoloOne, who have built a comprehensive mixed reality suite of applications called Sphere. These consist of workflow support for guided workflows, training, and underlying metrics, remote assistance, allowing you to connect to an expert anytime, anywhere, and digital workspace, offering real-time collaboration in an augmented workspace. So this new certified solution offers a single sign-on to the Think Reality and HoloOne portals, and it's tied into our Lenovo AWS hosting environment. It integrates a Lenovo ID with Microsoft's Active Directory for authenticating user and group content permissions. It offers access to the HoloOne suite of mixed reality apps with hands-free user interface to deliver workflow support, remote assistance, and digital collaboration. And finally, it includes MDM support. The Think Reality MDM comes standard, and we're adding compatibility for multiple new MDM solutions, the first of which will be Microsoft's Intune MDM. Early access is available now for this certified solution, with general availability of this coming in the third quarter of this calendar year. Now, let's talk about virtual reality. VR is showing strong evidence for being an effective digital tool for training the workforce. Again, our focus at Lenovo is on scalability within the enterprise. But let's take a look at some of the industry KPI improvements that VR is providing businesses. Within the training ecosystem of VR, we're seeing metrics that include a 75% retention rate using VR versus only 5% using lecture-style learning. VR is also proving to increase learning times by 30 to 40% by creating more immersive learning experiences. And with error and mistake reduction, we're seeing VR training providing 30 to 40% fewer mistakes than when conventionally trained. Now today, we are announcing the Lenovo Mirage VR S3, an all-in-one lightweight device with 4K resolution and 101-degree field of view. We're bringing this device to market in collaboration with Pico Interactive and have added extra enterprise compatibility, which includes a new battery. We've removed any non-enterprise related software, and we've added the Think Reality MDM access. Now, some of you might be thinking or asking, why bring a 3DOF VR device to market when much of the industry is moving to all-in-one 6DOF devices? Well, there's two primary drivers for Lenovo. One is we've had tremendous success in the education space with our VR classroom solution, where children need VR experiences that take little to no training on how to use the device. This device was actually initially designed for our VR classroom solution that we announced last month. And secondly, many large-scale VR training use cases require massive scale and a device that allows for a quick learning curve on how to use the device. This is achieved and accomplished with the one-handed controller, for example, on the VR S3. And many training use cases also require solutions that don't offer 6 degrees of freedom, where the user actually needs to stay seated. So the VR S3 fits many of the following use cases that can be scaled quickly. These include human resources training, safety training, and sales training. Video-based VR experiences are really ideal for the VR S3 as it only requires 3 degrees of freedom. And we're finding most of the content in these categories are actually created this way. Now, we're also excited that the Think Reality MDM comes ready out of the box. It makes for an easy deployment in large quantities of devices, allows for the management of applications and updates to take place remotely. You can also monitor device health and battery levels. Now we're offering the VR S3 sold with Think Reality or as a standalone device. To maximize the potential of the Lenovo Mirage VR S3, every headset's ready to enroll in our Think Reality platform. Think Reality breaks down barriers, eliminating time-consuming tasks for IT professionals, and removes obstacles for end users. Through the IT admin portal, mass provisioning and updating of devices simultaneously ensure that all VR headsets are ready to use whenever they're needed. Web-based access ensures that you can reach your active device from anywhere and at any time to view device health, deploy content, and install device updates. So I'm also really excited to say that we've been working with a company called Uptail to ensure compatibility with the VR S3 and Think Reality to deliver a scalable training solution. Uptail has created a cloud-based platform for organizations to take their own 360 and 180-degree VR video footage and turn that footage into immersive learning modules. Current users of Uptail's solution include Schneider Electric, L'Oreal, Microsoft, Airbus, and many other major enterprise clients. Their solution includes authoring tools, distribution solutions, authentication system, and data tracking dashboard. Lenovo's also partnered with Vario to offer a solution with the world's only human eye resolution HMD that offers a bionic display, 170-degree field of view, and eye tracking for those use cases in the AEC industry that demand ultra-high fidelity. Through our partnership, Lenovo brings the only certified for Vario pairings of workstations for all Vario headsets, and will soon be offering selective Lenovo ThinkStation and ThinkPad P series, plus Vario VR XR HMD bundles. Now, let's talk a little bit about our services offering, the third pillar in Think Reality. In order to truly deliver at scale, having service and support at a global level is critical. Lenovo offers this with 160 plus countries supported, over 600 stocking locations, 7,000 plus service centers, over 800 parts centers. We have 45 call centers around the world covering 28 languages, and we have 6 universal command centers. Our Universal Command Centers offers end-to-end service monitoring and intervention, a systematic way to identify issues and take corrective actions, situation management, and root cause analysis and improvement actions. And today, we're also unveiling the Lenovo Integrated Solutions Support, or as we call it,
virtual reality marketing, and I'm very honored to be on this talk today.
Hi, I'm Deborah Worrell, Chief Strategy Officer at Virtual Reality Marketing. And I joined Terry after a career at brand advertising and digital marketing at Microsoft and Google. And now we work with some of the most innovative companies in the world.
Today, we're going to talk about how, since COVID, remote is the new normal for everyone. And we believe XR is really the best kind of remote. But before we start, a few words about us. For the past few years, we've been on a mission to connect brands and advertisers with leading AR and VR creators. Right now, virtual reality marketing is the most comprehensive directory of VR and AR and 360 creators. We also focus on showcasing the latest immersive experiences and trends across all business verticals. And the fun story about us is that what we do started as a pet project back in 2015, and it was just a simple list of 50 studios, and then went to 40 and 800 and 1500, and really what we've seen this exponential growth of the XR industry. And we really have two goals. The number one is to inspire and educate brands about the various use cases of XR. And number two is, once you build trust and once you build interest, it's really to facilitate XR business worldwide. And as a result, we've built this unique perspective on the industry. Right now, we're building the largest library of XR case studies. We've got more than 300 on the site, and our goal is to have 500 by the end of this year. And we're fortunate to have the opportunity to connect with dozens of AR and VR CEOs every month and talk with them about what they do and what are their goals, and most importantly, their strategies. So we have this unique perspective. We get to see what works and what doesn't, and most importantly, share the insights.
There's a famous quote that describes how we all feel about the pandemic. There are decades when nothing happens, and then there are weeks when decades happen. 2020 can certainly relate. It's difficult to anticipate all the many ways that COVID will change the way large business verticals do their work. Yes, there will be winners and losers, and most will be win some and lose some. What we can predict is that XR solutions are coming to every industry. For example, in media and entertainment, we truly illustrates the bifurcation of the crisis. Studios have delayed premieres of new blockbusters, theaters are closed, but channels like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus are enjoying record viewership while everyone has been sheltering at home. And no surprise, gaming has taken off as well. In the VR space, Facebook just announced that they sold $100 million worth of games and apps for the Quest. And although they haven't confirmed the number of Quests sold, estimates are north of 1 million, it's even more exciting that over 100 developers made more than $1 million last year. So not only are the big players successful, but that viability is spread around. In automotive and financial services, there's still so many questions. Will less commuting drive vehicle ownership down? Or will the concern about public transportation make personal cars a safer choice? How will the pandemic affect retirement planning, investing, and the stock market? Even Warren Buffett admitted that he didn't see this coming. Retail is a huge story. Last month, we saw the bankruptcies of J. Crew, Neiman Marcus, J.C. Penney, and plenty more. Analysts expect over 12,000 stores to close in 2020, and that's after 23,000 closed in the last 2 years. On the other hand, we have Amazon. They hired 175,000 new employees this year and spent $8 billion on COVID-related initiatives to ensure a safe supply chain. And there's nothing like a pandemic to turn everything health-related upside down. No one has to reiterate what we're seeing on the news every night. More than 100,000 US deaths, almost 2 million cases. The race to develop a vaccine or treatment is worth billions and can transform the pharmaceutical industry and most likely the whole world. And perhaps no vertical exemplifies the dramatic effect that the virus has had on business more than travel and tourism. From transportation to hospitality to events, the impact of social distancing and postponement of sports, concerts, and entertainment has been devastating. Ultimately, personal vacations and tourism will return, but business travel has been changed forever. There is a tremendous opportunity for XR companies to reinvent this industry virtually, collaboration, immersive events, and remote training solutions. Energy markets have been in free fall. Last month, prices were negative, which affects economies and governments worldwide. And generally, enterprise markets underpin and often predict what customers will do. Today, the enterprise is much further along the technology adoption curve, and XR will grow as workers bring home devices and solutions that they apply to their personal lives. There's tremendous opportunity in education to reimagine schools and universities. There will be no going back to pre-COVID standards, and yet Zoom schools aren't going to cut it either. Some analysts want to see tech and university partnerships expand. Others are creating hybrid methodologies that blend in-person with online and immersive interaction. So our business friends are working towards changing the way that they look at the world and look at business, and we want to help them do that. Remote is the new normal, and how we're responding with home offices, Zoom calls, and homeschooling is no surprise. 75% of workers report that they want to work remotely at least some of the time, and it's another long-term trend that has been pulled forward by the pandemic. Companies are announcing every day what their new policies will be. Most are open to some sort of hybrid solution. Empowering workers is important, and the new workplace will value trust, engagement, and authenticity. And we can be renewed by finding these better solutions and leaning into the tech. Let's turn for a minute how XR can help support fresh new directions. Meetings can be memorable experiences focused on new ways of team building or content visualization. Today, some innovative companies are meeting in VR gaming environments of strange new worlds. Some are walking through data, or even in a digital twin of a fabulous location on Earth. Wouldn't we all want to have our next check-in at the Roman Colosseum or scuba diving in Fiji? How about the moon or Mars? Work will definitely change, and it may not be in the way we think.
And so next, I want to share this map. It comes from the COVID-19 dashboard from the Johns Hopkins University. And it shows the life progression of the pandemic in the world. And obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is that everyone, quite literally every country, is affected. And from our perspective, it's the first truly global event in a really long time. And probably the reason for that is that we live in this globally connected world. And you know, when you think of it 1 minute, that's a relatively new thing. In the last century, air travel has become mainstream. And then in the late 90s, early 2000, it was the rise of the PC and most importantly, the rise of the internet. And since 2007, we had the first iPhone and then modern smartphone and 3, 4, and soon 5G connectivity. And really what we've seen is that in the last decade, tech has been pulling forward. And I think we've all grown accustomed to being hyper-connected to everyone on this planet. We all know in real time what's happening in Hong Kong or in Paris or for instance, this week in the US.
The pandemic has been compared to life-altering events like World War II or the destruction of Pompeii. The difference is technology and global connectedness. Rather than something to get through until society can get back to business as usual, I like to think of it as an etch-a-sketch. The virus has turned our world upside down and shaken it, and in the process, it's given us a blank page to figure out a different way to live. Not necessarily better or worse, but new and changed.
And I think we've all seen those eerie pictures of empty cities all around the world. So here I've chosen pictures of Hollywood in Los Angeles or Washington, D.C. And I think, the best is to show this short clip of Rome last month.
So it's worth asking the question, will the new normal of remote work end the concept of location? Will it change how we identify with our employers, our countries, or if we think of ourselves as rural or urban? Will people choose to spend $5,000 a month on a studio in San Francisco or New York when that amount buys a large house in the wide open spaces? Corporations are already doing these analyses. They're codifying and communicating to their leadership. They're balancing costs against the skills required and coming to the conclusion that ultimately they will have to justify going into the office to their employees rather than have the employees justify their remote work. At the end of the day, it is employers and corporations that just may benefit the most.
And yeah, just this morning, I saw that this train is going really fast and that rental prices are already plummeting in the San Francisco Bay Area with a year-on-year drop of about 10%. And, short answer is it seems the people working in tech are already leaving. And so, yeah, like I said, everything is going really, really fast. And another interesting trend is that COVID is really accelerating the adoption of technology. And why? I think because necessity is the mother of invention, and with the real world closed, everyone really has to come up with innovative solutions. And when we think of all the 8 verticals we spoke earlier, each one has been or is adapting through new technology solutions, and simply the virus is really pulling the future forward. And meanwhile, XR has come a really, really long way. I mean, AR and VR have been around for a really long time, and the picture on the left is a virtuality headset from the 90s. At the time, it was the coolest thing ever. And really, you don't want to try this now. But just in the last 3 years, we've gone from PC-based headsets like the original HTC Vive, and that required sensors and tons of wires. And now we're going to much lighter standalone headsets like the Quest or the HoloLens 2 on the bottom right. And we've made a lot of progress, I think, but there's still some ways to go. For instance, there's still a lot of friction around software and installs. We really want to go towards generalizing hands tracking instead of controllers. Another big problem, especially this year, has been hardware availability. Everyone wants Quest, but it's been out of stock for about 2-3 months. And also in the same time, in the last 3 years, we've seen that 3 years ago, most AR and VR was quote unquote future tech. A lot of companies out there were pitching about future use cases and how AR is going to be amazing for travel and it's going to be fantastic for medical or whatever. But really, clients had to imagine the potential for the applications for these technologies because there were no case studies of successful business implementation back then. And fast forward to today, and now XR is more and more accessible. I mean, it's black and white. XR content is available on AR or VR headsets or mobile or even PC with WebXR. Really, we feel that everyone's invited. And also now the case studies are here. Every day, XR companies deliver real benefits for real businesses all around the globe. And I'd like to share a video of a great case study that I think summarizes everything. It's how Bell has designed their new helicopter 10 times faster thanks through immersive technology tools and processes.
FCX-1 is our first concept aircraft and a peek inside our innovation team's efforts. FCX-1 points the way for our future. A focus on innovative solutions and technologies. Being a pioneer in the aircraft industry is in our DNA.
Using virtual reality as a design tool was sort of an aha moment we had. What if we put it in a room and then put the engineer in the room with it and let him draw on the 3D model and use that to go to the next stage of development and make some of these real-time decisions?
This type of process is actually working really well because now we can sit in a 3D model. And so that allows us the real-time ability to say that's too far or I don't have enough visibility through this part of the window, so we can drag lines and move things. And it's a dynamic shift and it happens on the fly.
We do VR design studies. It costs us a lot of money to mock up a part in real life. We'd rather just do lots of iterations on it inside VR and then decide where we want to go, then cut metal after that or cut tools after that.
We have a holistic experience now, and that helps us drive the designs forward and makes them come to life faster.
And so what we really see now are 3 key use cases for remote XR. And I want to share 3 case studies coming from our database on virtual reality marketing. So number 1 is remote collaboration, really, inside of your company, collaborating with your team. Number 2 is remote conferences and events. And this time we're talking about those high stakes meetings outside of your company. And also obviously talk about remote expertise and training. So the first case study about remote collaboration and communication is coming from this company, Spatial. And Spatial basically turns the space around you into a shared augmented workplace and basically works with AR and VR and all sorts of devices, including phones and tablets and PCs. And the idea is that users can collaborate and search and brainstorm as if they were in the same room.
Hey Josh.
What's going on, Bree? I just wanted to sync on this 3D model review. Is now a good time to chat?
Go ahead.
Cool, let me share my screens. Look, so these are issues at all. You, how,
Okay, so the next case study is around remote conferences and events. And this time we want to talk about what HTC did with Engage. So HTC, the makers of the Vive headset, and Engage is an advanced VR collaboration platform. And basically HTC had the problem of having to cancel the physical Vive ecosystem conference this year in 2020 in March. And they decided to host the whole conference in VR using Engage. And the result has been a resounding success with over 1,000 people attending the event. And one of the unexpected cool side effects was that instead of people coming from Asia or China only, they had over 50 countries in attendance.
Dear guests, partners, developers, and friends of the media from all over the world, welcome to the Virtual Vive Ecosystem Conference 2020.
The vision of HTC to enter the VR industry is to build a platform of humanities, technology, and dreams to help people unleash human imagination. In the face of this pandemic,
And finally, third case studies, this time around remote expertise and training coming from Oxford Medical Simulation. So Oxford Medical is an award-winning medical simulation and content company. And their goal is really to train healthcare professionals without risking lives. And they've offered a COVID VR training module to help hospitals and medical facilities during the pandemic. And as of March, 50 hospitals and med schools in the US and Canada and the UK are using the training, and about 1,700 additional medical professionals can help those facilities with proper training and without taking risks. That's extraordinary.
And so how can virtual reality marketing help? Well, major corporations we already know that they have large IT departments that are helping them figure it all out. Virtual reality marketing wants to help small and medium businesses who may not know what is available or where to start. Start with us. Our mission is to bring companies strategic XR solutions and introduce them to studios that will bring that vision to life across all of their platforms. So thank you for joining us today for this talk, and we are happy to answer questions and follow up with anybody individually or in the Q&A.